This is Eric Posapel with Body Morph Pros. I'm here with NPC super heavy competitor Dan Newmire. Dan, good to see you again as always.
Always good pleasure to work with you and spout off or go off on a tangent like I normally do for about 15 minutes on usually nothing that has anything to do with anything, but that's what I normally do. So always a pleasure.
Yeah. So we've had you on the podcast before. We've done some interviews with you. We always love having you. Every time you prep, it's like you're under the radar. Like no one knows you're prepping, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks out, we see all these videos pop up. Is that kind of the plan to fly under the radar, kind of see how you look, and then kind of decide to pop in the show?
I guess my personality is I'm not, and this is kind of completely unorthodox, but I do not desire all the attention. I don't like a lot of attention. I don't have to have all the attention. So I kind of do my thing. I kind of stay in the shadows and do my, train, do whatever. I don't do a lot of posing in the gym in front of everybody. I kind of keep the clamps on, so to speak. And then I'll do some videos with MD and do some posing. And I don't even like posing in front of people. And my wife can attest to this. It's just my personality. It's always been that way. And then people are like, why do you bodybuild? And I sometimes have to go, that's a good question. But I do, I don't always like being the one person being stared at or looked at on stage singularly. But I do, I enjoy the competition, the training aspect of it. I know it's part of it. But I'm just not what you would call an attention seeker. So I kind of hide. I'm very good at hiding and kind of pulling a Houdini and he's gone.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. You did your last show, and then you kind of, we talked back and forth, yeah. And you kind of really didn't even mention anything. And all of a sudden, I started seeing some pictures pulling up and some videos being pulled up, and I said, "You doing?" Yeah, so you're like, "Yeah," but looking at you right now, clearly thicker, clearly heavier, and way fuller than you were at the USA's.
Yes, and that was my goal. I gambled. I pushed it and came in a lot smaller than what I planned to be. I didn't want to be that.
You're talking about the USA's?
USA's, excuse me. So the USA's in July, I came in around 243 pounds, which is about an 11-point deficit from what I competed at last. Normally, that's actually not what you want to do unless there's a compromise and maybe conditioning or something that you were in. But I don't think I was that far off of junior USA's, but I needed to make some improvements as far as my condition to be harder and leaner, especially my backside. So, yeah, I came in way too small, kind of pushed it as far as cardiovascular exercise and dieted way too hard. And as we ate, I filled out and filled out and filled out. And, I should probably look like this when I'm... But anyways, these are the stupid things we do. And then my goal was if I do nationals, that I need to be up in the 250 range where I look more bulbous, fuller, rounder, thicker, and that's and everyone looks good that way. But in the super heavyweight class, that's a look. It's a predominant look. Yes, they do like conditioning and shape, but you got to be big and you got to be full. And when you stand next to guys that are 260 plus pounds, 6 foot tall, and you are emaciated and tiny looking, it's just not going to really do much for you. So that was my goal, is to come in bigger. I weighed in at 254, which is the same weight I weighed in 2012. So we got it back up, which is great, but numbers are numbers. So it all comes down to visual appearance from this point on to see if we got it.
Well, and again, I obviously you're sitting here with a t-shirt on and shorts, but I mean, I can see veins riddled down. I can see grain through the forearms. I can see grain down the calves, which, by the way, you really should work on your calves. They're terrible. They're the smallest calves I've ever seen.
I get told that a lot, and I probably should do something about it, but I would trade them in.
Was that Jeff Saigo you were shooting with recently where he took a picture of your calves?
Jeff is infatuated with my calves, and he likes to take pictures of them and find me in vulnerable positions where I'm not paying attention and get them and put them online for people to look at. Again, I know they're a body part that, so either you really have them or you really don't. But again, if it was a kind of a leasing program, I'd trade them in for one of those freaky, stupid retard backs, excuse my French, my backs, so that I could turn around the show and just say, game over, any day of the week.
That's like, everyone's got that one body part that they take for granted, and it's obviously yours. That's like Frank McGrath with his forearms.
Yep.
They've always just been freaky and veiny.
Just don't train them, and they just kind of do whatever they do, and they just respond, and then you actually kind of detrain them, and they say, no, we're sticking around. So that's what happens.
So talk to me a little bit about how you feel about your condition and your size compared to some of your best in the past. I mean, do you feel like you've kind of recaptured the best Dan Newmire that we've seen?
The best. You'll probably never, ever hear me say best. better, or I always have things to work on. But let's say if we compare from here to USA's, yes, I feel I'm more bulbous, better, more of the look that I am known for, or what I've competed with. But as far as best conditioning ever, no. I think in 2010 I've hit the peak of conditioning, but I also sacrificed a lot of size. I think when we competed in 2010, I was like 241 on stage, very small super. I was very lean, but again, it's the balance, size, lean. If I was 6'2" and 280 pounds, that lean, it would be a lot better. But again, like I said, I feel better. Let's just say my goal was to reclaim the physique I had close to what Junior USA's was, and bring something closer to that on stage at a national pro qualifier show, and see what that does for me. Again, I don't know what it's going to do. It may end up same place, worse. I don't know. I'm hoping for the best. I hope it does better, but I'm happier with it. And I got to eat my way up. There was no starvation.
As a team chubby kid.
Yes, I am. I actually had some days there where it was high calories, just eating, and my weight was dropping. I got down like around 244 during this prep, and I said, no. I started eating on Sundays, and I mean a couple meals in there where it was junk, garbage, cereals, Pop-Tarts, In-N-Out Burger, and all my normal junk staples. I love ice cream. And so we did that, and have a day of that, got my weight back up. Sometimes I didn't even really gain that much weight, and then at least it stabilized, though, the loss. And then I went back to my normal diet, and again, people argue, and I still say, well, calories a calorie, especially if you're an exercising, weight training individual. Does that cheat meal really have that stronger influence? I don't know. But again, like I said, as far as conditioning, I always have room. My backside has always been my lacking spot. It looks a bit drier and grainier, but I still have not the development. You can notice that a lot of guys, when they have a lot of development in an area, it seems to be leaner, greener, harder, fuller. And those weak body parts, though, they always seem to go flatter and fatter. If you say that that way, but yeah. So I got a lot of, like I said, if once beyond this time, we'll see what happens. But I still have a whole lot of work to do, whole lot of work. But that's all of our stories.
So rumor is, and we're filming this now, it's Thursday, and weigh-ins are just going on. And rumor is that Kevin Jordan's trying to suck down into the heavies.
That was the rumor. I think Kevin could do either way. I think Kevin's
kind of floats on that cusp.
He is. He's one of those intras. I mean, I'm still in the intra phase. I would not consider myself a full-blown super heavyweight like yourself. But he's in the intra phase where he could look good in the smaller supers and the top of the heavies, but he's blessed. I mean, he's one of the best bodybuilders in the amateur level right now. He knows it. A lot of people know it. Again, but if he makes whatever he does, he's going to look good. I mean, Kevin is just, it's not win or if, it's win, and when his time comes, whatever happens, and I'll be happy when he does win his professional status.
Yeah, so I've talked with a few of the heavyweights, and they were all glad that he wasn't doing it. Now they're all like, oh shit, he's doing it. So the question is then, this kind of leaves the door open, I think. There's no real front runner that's been talked about in the super heavyweight class. So that's got to be on the back of your mind a little bit.
Of course we all think about it, but again, who knows? I know there's Joel Thomas, who actually I think is a Floridian. He's done really well at nationals before. He's got a great physique. He's hard. He's a big kid. He's a good-looking kid. Done very well. He could probably be up there. And there's always the guys that not talking about. And you're like, oh my God, who are you? So. All I know is whatever is meant to be is going to find its way. I stressed USA's. I stress and try to do an opposite look, or a look that I thought would be more applicable, but it was wrong. It was a wrong gamble. So just go with my best self, and if they perceive that as the look they want to go with, cool. If not, I don't know. I have no idea. As you know, this is a multifactorial thing. It's not just, if I do this, it'll do this. They decide. They are the gatekeepers, and what they want that day, and that shows what's going to happen. So who knows who the front runners are? Again, but if they gave me that opportunity, and let's just say it was not the most competitive super heavyweight class all time, I don't care. I'm not.
A win's a win. You can only battle who shows up, right?
I'm not saying I'm the most competitive super heavyweight of all time. All I'm saying is, like, one of my.
As long as you're the most competitive one today.
It's like one of those things. Like, my goal is I want to achieve professional status, and if that is today, great. If it's not, there's not much you can do. From that point, I don't know. We'll just kind of see what time goes and what happens.
Now, I know you are back in school, chasing another degree. Was it hard dieting and doing that? I know you guys recently moved to Dallas and you're back in school and trying to diet again. I mean, how difficult has all that been, or has it been at all?
Oh, it's a challenge. I'm very thankful that my wife has been very supportive. She does want to kill me, but
She's sharpening a knife in the kitchen.
and I'm expecting that. But she did let me compete again this year, which is not a norm. I usually don't do 2 big time shows in a year, but this was an opportunity of a sponsorship that we got it all financed for us, which I'm very thankful for. But it is challenging balancing a lot. I'm in the stage of trying to finish up my coursework as far as my concentration of exercise physiology. I'm trying to actually adding to my minor, which I want more molecular biology. Yes, I'm nerdy, and I want more because I want to get out in the world. And if I start teaching or doing more research, I want to be armed with the appropriate knowledge base of the things I need. So it is a balance. I'm doing a lot of driving. I'm doing a lot of eating in my vehicle as I'm driving back and forth. My training schedule, I'm sometimes up early at 4:30 in the morning, and I get back at 8 o'clock at night. From driving back to school, I'm teaching. I'm also doing research.
Fighting people on Facebook.
Yeah, and yes, Dan wastes a lot of his time on. I have a problem.
You just can't stop, can you? Does your wife ever tell you, Dan, just put it away?
Constantly.
She's nodding in the background for those that can't see.
Need to stop. I have an argumentative issue, and I like to argue and debate. And sometimes these debates are fruitless and go nowhere. And I need to learn that, and it's hard. I had to relearn that several times during my wife is smiling.
She's fish hooking off the side here.
So. Dan will stop his addictive issues with arguing.
Because I love you'll get on a rant and I'll look and it's like this post has 145 comments.
Dan starts, and I like debating. I do like debating. I like thought process. I like getting.
Well, the thing with it, for those of you that want to challenge Dan, is he's going to ask you, well, why, or do you have anything to back that up, or is there any research, not just an opinion that you're going to throw out?
Well, in academia, you have to defend everything. You have to defend everything down to the T and know exactly what you're talking about, or you get ripped and shredded apart in an academic format. Well, I present the same thing to other people. It's like, well, if you're going to make a statement or some kind of sentence or wording that's unsupported or something, especially in our industry, which tends to happen more often than not, then I want to ask. I ask the question, why? How come? What for? And do you have any evidence to support that? Yeah. So these are not bad questions. It just puts people on the spot to go, I got to think about this now. So again, but that's part of my goal in my life. I want to inspire thinking. I don't want you just to go about the world. Yeah, I want you to think about stuff. And then when people are thinking, I create the ball rolling. So
I try to warn people not to argue with you, but it's.
I'm not always right. So again,
I'm not saying that. I just you come at a lot of different directions at people where I think some people they have one bullet in the gun and you've got like 6.
But again, there's people that make me look like
Lane Norton,
special needs kid, and I'm not making fun of special needs people, but that I just.
This is the second time we've talked about disabled children in one conversation.
Well, obviously it's me. So I'm just in the point where it's like I don't argue. I try not to argue with those people. I like to debate, but again, there's some smart people out in this world, and I just want to learn from them. So again, when I'm not going to battle with people that are intelligent and tell them they're dumb and they're wrong. I want to debate with them and learn what they have.
Question.
Exactly. Yeah. That's how we learn.
Yeah, and that's, like I said, I've actually learned a lot just from reading your posts and stuff, because I'm nowhere near as smart as you in the sport and everything. And so it's sometimes it's good. You're like, oh, that's good.
There's a saying.
And you read some of the articles. Some of them I can't read because they're so scientific.
Yeah. But there's a saying, the more you know, the less you actually do. So
with that too, I think a lot of people. If you ever get to the point where you think you know everything, you really don't know anything.
And that is so true. Actually, on our way a flight here, we met a gentleman on a plane, and we kind of made the analogy of golf like bodybuilding, because it's you spend a lot of money on it, you spend a lot of time, and you never ever can perfect it. Yeah. So very much like the same stuff, but the same thing as academia. So you're constantly learning. But again, if I come across as being arrogant or trying to that I know more than I don't. I just like to make people think. That's all. And I don't want to insult people either, because there's some.
And those that know your personality know that.
And I know that, but I just want to make sure that people know that I'm not trying to come off as I'm better than because I'm really not. I just like arguing, especially college football. You give me, we can go all day. And it's the thing is,
how about those Buckeyes?
Yeah, that's a bad thing. Once people know my little areas, they could tug on it, and then it's over with, and I'm in, and I can't get out, and then my wife has to scream at me, and I have to go to bed. So,
she rolls over and tells you to turn the light out.
Dan's a sucker.
She's over here laughing at you, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's normal. That's normal. So
Awesome. Well, I'm super excited to see you at prejudging. I can't wait. Later prejudging start today. It's 1 o'clock, right?
1 o'clock, thankfully. And actually, I'm actually happy about that because for all of us people that seem to get, like myself, that seem to get watery as the day goes on and less dry, regardless of food intake and water intake, it's good. I have an opportunity to get on stage a little bit earlier than a night show for prejudging, and then let's see if I can hold that and maintain that dryness. Because I felt when I did Junior USA's last time, I actually looked better at the night show.
Now, are they doing 60-second morning routines here? Because I know the North Americans, they don't, and that threw everybody off.
I think USA's did it, and I think Nationals will do it, but again, I don't know.
Yeah, they did it before.
And I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't, they just give you
So you'll be there?
more time. Yeah, I'll have to be there. So it just gives you more time to pose on stage in front of the judges. But then we'll do comparisons and everything. The good thing is that we'll get out of there hopefully in time to go watch some football.
Yeah, is there anyone playing this weekend you want to watch?
There's a team, that I might have to.
If anyone knows you at all.
Yeah, my obsessions and my fanaticisms, yes. I have issues. Lots of issues, we all know.
All bodybuilders have some kind of issues. Anyone you want to give a shout out to? I know you got some new sponsors.
I just want to, again, say thank you to, first of all, Elton and Cassie Bates. They were the two individuals at Gold's Gym. They had some clients that were unable to sponsor me, myself, and Emily to get down here and actually compete. They didn't have to do that. We all competed together at USA's, and they kind of offered this opportunity to do so, and it kind of gave me a earlier chance to make up for my fun time in Vegas that I kind of
Learning
gave them.
experience.
Yeah, exactly, expensive one. But we did that, and I'm thankful for them to do that, give me that opportunity with their client, Sandy. But I just want to thank, obviously, Dante, True Nutrition. The guy's been awesome. Again, who could ask for a better sponsor as far as supplements? I've been since 2008, every year, time and time again, even when I'm not competing in years. It just doesn't matter, It doesn't matter if it's 19th place or first place. It's the same person, same perspective, and I really appreciate that. And, of course, my wife and my friends and family. My wife has been very supportive. She arranged all of our hotel, all of our stuff, all our flights, all of our car, all of it's taken care of, so I don't have to. So it makes life a whole lot better. And all the friends and family, my training partner back in Dallas, Justin, and Greg, and the people at Metroflex, for the family we've kind of gone into over there at that gym, which is a beautiful gym. And just thankful for all those people, man. The support system is what gets you here. You just get the easy part of posing on stage. It's all the people that in the background that don't get the attention. So I try to highlight that more, because without them, I wouldn't be here. So
It takes a village to raise a bodybuilder.
God, and 2 villages sometimes, but yeah.
A village of food and then a village of people.
God,
The village people.
the expensive aspect of bodybuilding. She'll be happy. My wife will be happy
When you win this, you immediately make millions.
Yeah, that's what they say. They say that once you get an IFB pro card, that you the contract with the.
Now, has she started shopping for new cars and rings and fur coats and stuff?
She's looking for a Bentley, I think that's what, and a new 3-floor house, a mansion, something like that. Yeah, because I heard that's what happens.
A Bugatti?
Bugatti, yeah. So
You better win 2 pro cards, buddy.
or 14.
Awesome. Well, we're always extremely supportive of you. I've known you a long time. I'd love to see you up there with your hand raised in the winner's circle, first or second. Either way, I'd love for you to get the pro card. You're a cool dude, always very humble. So we appreciate you coming on doing the interview. We'd love to catch you after the show, just so we can talk about however it goes, good or bad. We want to grab you and see how things go. So best of luck to you at prejudging tomorrow. We'll grab you afterwards and we'll chat some more. So for Big Dan Newmire, super heavyweights, this is Eric Posable with Body Morph Pros, and we'll catch you guys at the show. Thanks a lot, Dan.